questions for you, but I'm going to try to keep it to one.
As many as you want.
Okay. Well, first off, the photography is really beautiful, and I'm assuming that you shot most of this yourself.
All of it.
So maybe you can talk a little bit about when you started doing photography and how that helps you see and how that informs your projects.
You see, when you give people questions to ask you how well they come out, you know. I started photography, it's going to be like 9 years ago. And it came about in the fact that I thought, I am tired of this industry. I want to do something else. And part of the reason that I wanted to go into photography was there's an immediacy to photography, which we do not have in our industry. You know, it's like sometimes it takes longer to do a baby than, or to do a room than it does to do a baby. And, you know, I wanted something that I could have an expression, a creative thought, and do it, and have it end. And so I started, it didn't work out to change careers, but I now photograph all my jobs for all the different magazines. Now when I travel, I scout locations, photograph them, and sell them to the magazines. It wasn't about trying to control how I express my rooms in my work. It was really how can I, as a photographer, interpret, you know, these spaces. Some of them are mine, some are other people. I've started to do fine art, which I've been doing now for the last 5 years. It's just another expression. It's another way of trying to train my eye. It's very interesting because when you take a picture, you are bringing this whole room to the size of the lens. And it helps you to create compositions, to look at spaces in a different way. And I think that use of color, which I've used in the photography, has altered how I design rooms. So it's interesting, coming to a new way of it being creative really altered my regular type of work. You know, so many people travel, but they want to travel and still be in their home. I want to be out of my home. I want to be in the village. I want to be trekking through mountains and not taking a shower for a week, and that's okay because I take a shower every day in New York. Well, not every day, but anyway. Yeah, I want to do those things. And that has changed my design so completely because I don't design now through this portal. I understand because I've seen that African stool in the village, how people sit. So when I use it in my job and I put it next to an 18th century chair, it's not just something I found in the shop and I'm going to stick it in my work. I understood how it functions, and so I have a dialogue already with it. And that has really altered very, very much how I design and how I live my life. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Well, apparently, you sense a disconnect between, one culture and another, and you've chosen the profession of interior design, and so have many of us. So how do you see as a vision to make a difference in your future with all your experiences to be able to help people, that you're assisting with their design to understand that sensitivity and change their lives? And, I mean, is there something we can do as a design community to bring a connection so that
they understand it? Okay, first let me answer the first thing you said. As I said, I got fired out of everything else. I was in fashion, acting. I couldn't do acting because I can't remember the lines. It was a major problem. It was, really I got picked up by certain people who wanted to really push me, but I just could never remember the script. Fashion, advertising, merchandising. I never graduated high school, so I was really desperate. And when interior design came along, it was really, I don't know what I was going to do. And so it opened itself. So like a pigeon flies over and bam, it hits you on the shoulder. That's how interior design hit me. It smells much better though. I try to talk to my clients in an intelligent way. I don't bring emotion to it. I bring a thought process. And I try to explain to them the relationships of objects one to the other. the sense of why this works with that, where I found this or where I saw this, how it was being used, and the beauty of it. That maybe because it's worn and stained doesn't mean that it's old and used and should not be, that how that texture brings a different depth to an environment. And I think, as a community, we have major problems. We have no respect. People look at us and they say, well, I could do what you do if I had the time. And yes, and you think, oh, well, this guy appears in magazines, she appears in magazines, she does all this work, I do all this work. We don't have that problem. We have the same problems that you do. They bargain us, they try to cheat us on commission, they try to usurp what we bring to the table, which is a filing cabinets of ideas and ways of dealing with problems. And you wouldn't go to your lawyer and say, well, no, you're going to do my case this way, but I think you should do it this way. Or the doctor, oh, I have a pain over here, and no, you're saying it's this, but no, I'm going to tell you really what it is. We are dealt with, and I think part of it is our lack of professionalism many times in how we deal with things. Do we do contracts? Do we deal in a very professional way? Do we go to their homes on a Sunday afternoon because it's convenient to them? You wouldn't do that with your dentist. Why is it okay to do it with us? I mean, there's so many ways that we break down those boundaries with our clients that we really need to alter. Because if we don't alter it, it will keep, eroding our professionalism and our sense of yeah? I didn't say I said everything in the same point of view.
No, how you said, we are kind of eroding because we're so kind of accommodating. But it seems
not accommodating. It's the professionalism.
Right.
It's the sense that everybody charges differently. That if you say, oh, lower your commission, maybe you will. Or give ideas and not be covered for it. Or not have a contract.
So I guess if you tried this approach, with your, because it's pretty intriguing, and I'd like to do what you're doing in travel and kind of experience that, is to identify the unique client, meet with them, kind of learn who they're about, and then take them on that trip, and together you take pictures and experience it, and find the objects, and then you come back and design through that experience. Would that connect?
Let me ask you a question. Would you go to bed with every client you have? Why would I want to travel with them in my vacation? They bust my chops enough during the week. I want to take something, because we're not equal.
Right. I wasn't calling it a vacation. I was calling it a process.
If they had enough money and they were willing to pay my time to do that,
That's what you want.
Yes, it's what I want, but it's unreal. I mean, right now it's trying to just find a job with a decent budget that I can do, compared to finding a client that's going to give me a couple $100,000 so we can go and travel together. I think we can do that by educating them. How so much are they interested? Most of them, a lot of people are not. They want their personality to be shown in that job. They want the job. They want to get on with their lives. I want to get on with my business. I think that the others is fun to do. That's why I do the books. So like this, when you read the book, I'm teaching you something of how I think, and then you can interpret it into your own work.